I think we've all searched for the right supplement to get us through the day, whether it's work, school, or just dealing with stress, but it's not always just about focus. Sometimes it's about clarity. Today, we're going to be talking about clarity from Arms Race Nutrition. Arms Race has had some very interesting formulas back in the day, I think early last year, before we had any workings with Doug and the crew from Core America or Arms Race. I went out and purchased Stabilize because I thought it was a really interesting formula, put together an interesting video on it on our side of what we thought it was aiming to do. Sometimes with these interesting formulas like Kenton, we have to kind of dissect the product and figure out what they're trying to get at here, because it's more than just clinical dosages that surround a given purpose. Sometimes it's activating certain pathways. If you watched our Core Sear video, we talked about how they were activating different pathways that may not be your normal fat burning pathways, but searching for a common goal. So I had the pleasure of talking to Kenton about what they were kind of going for here. And also there's some transparent content out there about Julian's stress involved around the time that they were creating this product. But I am a huge fan of the product. It was sent to me earlier, and I actually have used a decent amount of it because of the specific goals that come with the product. It's not just about focus. There is focus in there. It helps a lot out with that nootropic benefit. It helps with focusing on stuff. However, the other half of it is dealing with stress in your life. I struggle to use the phrase mental health because it's thrown around a lot and we have to be careful about the things that we say. We are going to cite some studies in here that normally dietary supplement companies wouldn't really want to touch because it'll get into depression and different mental conditions. But that's the beauty of us being third party. We can talk about the studies out there that come with the benefits of these ingredients and be kind of transparent with you in terms of claims. So obviously I had a deep understanding for what they were getting with this in terms of social media stress, dealing with industry drama, dealing with all the stuff that gets bombarded at us as social media thought leaders, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to get into at the end how I personally use it. It is caffeine free, so it fits into a lot of different days or regimens. But let's leave that for the end of the video. Right now I'm going to get into breaking down the ingredients and talking about what each one will do for you so you can have a better idea of what this product is made up of. So this product, kind of similar to Stabilize, isn't super complicated. There's only 7 ingredients, which is obviously more than Stabilize, but it's not a kitchen sink of ingredients here. So first one that we're going to get into is St. Johns Wort. Now, St. Johns Wort in this product is at a 900 milligram dose at a 0.3% hypericin standardization. Now, it is worth noting that the serving size is 2 caps twice a day, but we're going to be talking about the 4 capsule dosage, the whole amount that you're going to get throughout the day. For some of the ingredients in here, that matters because it is important to be used over time. The benefits come from regular usage. So St. Johns Wort is a really cool herb. It has been studied in a lot of different stress environments. Now, the hypericin that in here that it's standardized for is the original constituent compound of the ingredient that was thought to be the main active ingredient. Now, St. Johns Wort does a number of things. It inhibits the uptake of serotonin, which is really important. Obviously, this is the same action that we find in so many SSRI depression drugs, but also inhibits the uptake of a few other neurotransmitters that are important as well. Things like dopamine, noradrenaline, GABA, and L-glutamate. Now, to go through these a little bit, serotonin is the one that regulates mood, anxiety, levels of depression. Dopamine regulates cognitive function, motor control, motivation, and reward. This one is kind of the feeling that you get after finishing a good workout or achieving something. Noradrenaline regulates the body's fight or flight response, increasing alertness and focus. GABA modulates synaptic transmission, promoting neural development. And lastly, L-glutamate is one of the most abundant free amino acids in the brain. It's used for cognitive functioning and neural signaling. Well, in 2008, there was a meta-analysis published that covered 29 different studies in which St. Johns Wort was studied in relation to depression. Now, 18 of these had placebo groups, 17 were compared against actual depression drugs, and not only did they find that St. Johns Wort lowered symptoms of depression as compared to the placebo, they found that it was actually just as effective as most depression drugs. Thinking SSRIs, tricyclic, and tetracyclic. Furthermore, they actually found a lower dropout rate in the St. Johns Wort as compared to the depression drug group, indicating that there may be less adverse reactions to this ingredient. This same review in 2008 was then updated in 2017, assessing 27 clinical trials. The team concluded that St. Johns Wort is an efficacious means to treat mild to moderate depression. Now, why is this important? Well, clarity helps a lot out with stress. One of the main goals here is mental health. They had to call it brain health support because mental health is a bit of a condition disease claim. They have to be careful about that kind of stuff. But we're here to tell you the actual sciences behind the ingredients without that filter that those brands have to stick to. And now I'm not going to get super into the science here, but I do want to put a little note here that because of this ingredient, because of the St. John's wort, it is important for you to take notice if you are taking any drugs or recreational drugs. If you're on any sort of depression drug, anxiety drug, mental psychology drug of any sort, or on the weekends you like to go to raves, it's important that you take notice of that and you don't use this product with it. I'm not going to get into it much further than that, but that's our fair warning. Be careful. This ingredient can interact with those types of situations pretty severely. So moving into, I'm sorry, my eyes are not what they used to be. Ginkgo Biloba, which is a 600 milligram dosage, standardized to 22% glycosides and 6% terpene lactones. Now, obviously, Ginkgo Biloba has its roots in traditional Chinese medicine. We're familiar with it. We've seen it for years. It's in tons of different nootropic products. We all know that it helps with the brain chemistry and brain health. The cognitive benefits of Ginkgo Biloba are most prominent when looked at neurotransmitter concentrations. What I was talking before about regular usage of this product is shown in a study in 2010. The British Journal of Pharmacology ran a study where they looked at the usage of a standardized Ginkgo Biloba dose after 14 days and in the acute dose. The acute dose had virtually no difference. But after 14 days, they've actually noticed a rise in dopamine and noradrenaline in the prefrontal cortex. Now, a lot of the studies on Ginkgo Biloba are on humans aging and against cognitive decline. In 2016, a review was published in which they assessed 21 different studies. While some of the studies did have small sample sizes, and the researchers did note that, they've concluded after looking at all the different studies that Ginkgo Biloba is beneficial in conjunction with modern medicine. Specifically, they were looking at the impairment of Alzheimer's disease. There was a similar review in 2018 where they looked at symptoms of dementia. The 4 studies they assessed were between 22 and 24 weeks, and they all showed a significant improvement. Now, lastly, and tying back into the secondary purpose of clarity, there are studies on the reduction of anxiety symptoms. In 2007, a randomized double-blind placebo-controlled study took 107 volunteers with anxiety or adjustment disorder and were treated with either 240 milligrams or 480 milligrams of standardized ginkgo extract. Now, reminder, we have 600 milligrams in here. They found that scores in the Hamilton Rating Scale of Anxiety, the HAM-A, significantly decreased for both ginkgo groups and citing an overall dose-dependent effect. But it's, again, worth noting that at the 2-week mark, no improvements were seen. At the 4-week mark, these improvements were noted. So again, this has to be used regularly to see the full effects of the product. Now, rounding out almost on the halfway mark here, we have L-Dopa at a different percentage than you're used to seeing. This L-Dopa is a 50% standardization. Now, this reasoning for using this is twofold. One, anything over 60% is technically a drug. Yeah, we know we've seen a lot of companies using 90, 98% L-Dopa standardizations. The safest way to use those is to just not disclose the standardization because it's just not a good idea compliance-wise. Secondary, though, is that this 50% version will contain many more naturally occurring constituents in here, most notably carbidopa, which is important for the effectiveness of L-Dopa. Now, this extract comes from the seeds of the Mucopurulens plant. These seeds are heavy in L-Dopa. Now, L-Dopa is able to cross the brain barrier and is a direct precursor to dopamine. Now, dopamine, as we said before, regulates cognitive function, but also feelings of motivation and reward. So this is going to help with focus, but also feelings of well-being. Now, the L-Dopa and the carbidopa in this ingredient are going to work together synergistically and prolong its effects, increasing the levels of dopamine. And as you could probably imagine, the higher you increase the standardization of L-Dopa, the lower the likelihood of there being carbidopa within the ingredient. Now, about moving into Bacopa, we have 400 milligrams of Bacopa standardized to 50% of Bacopicides. The Bacopicides are the active saponins within Bacopa that we can thank for its effectiveness. Bacopa is generally called a memory booster. In 2013, there was a large review on Bacopa from the journal Rejuvenation Research. They concluded that Bacopa effectively reduced oxidative damage, enhanced neurotransmission, and enhanced memory and cognitive function. Because it modulates neurotransmissions, it helps with stress. So as you can see, it does both of the things that they're looking to do here with clarity, increase focus and decrease stress. Now we have a little addition here, L-theanine, being an amino acid that is commonly seen with caffeine to help bring down the effects of stimulants. However, there's no caffeine in this formula. Often we see theanine in nootropic formulas to counteract the highs of stimulant usage or to help smooth out the stimulant effect. In a 1999 review published in Trends in Foods and Sciences and Technology, scientists actually measured alpha waves when using L-theanine. At doses between 50 and 200 milligrams, they found that theanine increased alpha wave activity less than 40 minutes after ingestion. Now, alpha waves are generally seen as indicators for signs of relaxation. Now, often theanine is used at night to calm down, or like I said, against stimulants to help fight against the highs of them. But in this case, I see it as just a calming ingredient to help get you into the day without the stresses of responsibilities and needs for that day. This is nice if you choose to combine it with some coffee or energy drink, but it doesn't take away from it if you're using it without that. I personally like to use it with some gaming supplements or an energy drink or just coffee in the morning because I don't usually like to have sweeteners in the morning, but that's up to you guys to decide what you're going to use it with. Now, lastly, we have Valerian Extract and Neurofactor. Valerian Extract is, again, something that we usually see in sleeping formulas at the end of the day or teas for going to sleep. Valerian root is very high in antioxidants, but it's mostly known for its content of valerianic acid. Valerianic acid has been shown to stimulate GABA receptors, leading to relaxation and lower markers of stress and anxiety. Researchers that study this ingredient transparently actually struggled to find signs of lowered anxiety or stress. But one study in 2011 actually found that it helped a lot with the symptoms of OCD disorder, which is still a pretty big claim. So this is one case where the studies don't really match what we feel anecdotally, and that's something that we've been pretty transparent on. Not everything is always going to be at a clinical dosage, but if you've ever had valerian root tea or a supplement with it, you notice that it does calm you down and get you ready for bed if it's a sleep aid, or just deal with stress anecdotally if you use it during the day. Now, lastly, we have one of my favorite ingredients of all time. Neurofactor from Futureceuticals is really quite intense for such a small dosage. Neurofactor helps increase BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor within the brain. It has very high concentrations in the brain. It facilitates learning and memory formation, and it's associated with higher levels of cognition. It also helps protect the brain, which is a bit different from the other ingredients, which are helping modulate neurotransmission. This one actually doesn't deal with stress all that much, but that's fine because we have so much in the other ingredients. This one is going to be a little bit intense in the actual focus that it provides, and that leading to be why it's one of my favorite ingredients in the market. Normally you see this in pre-workouts or energy drinks. In this case, it's in a bit of a calmer product, and I like the addition here. Now I take 2 capsules of this in the morning, 2 capsules in the afternoon. I'll take 2 in the morning with a cup of coffee. In the afternoon, I'll drink it with an energy drink, maybe my pre-workout if I'm going to the gym and I want to work afterwards, or sometimes just a gamer drink later on when I'm playing video games. I cannot stress how much clarity has helped me in my day-to-day life dealing with stress. I am not an influencer with millions of followers like Julian, but I totally understand the stresses that come from working from home, managing a brand, dealing with an industry, and having just normal life stresses as well. Trying to manage all of that on top of being an athlete can be a bit much at sometimes. Clarity is a huge help for me. I realize this sounds like a bit of an infomercial now, but honestly, I've used a ton of this product and it really helps me out. I couldn't tell you of any other product that has helped me this much in dual purposes. Sure, there's super helpful supplements out there for single purposes, but this is one product that I want to keep in my regimen for a slew of different reasons. I just don't want to run out of it, to be honest with you. In any case, I do have to be honest and say we got this for free. We have a business affiliate relationship with the team behind Arms Race Nutrition, not specifically Arms Race Nutrition. We don't have any coupons there or anything, but Doug Miller, one of the owners who is at Core and America as well, we have a relationship with them there, and I do personally think that they're doing really good things for the industry, bringing effective formulas, pretty cool branding, and just helping us out in our day-to-day lives. So if you have any questions about the product, you can leave them below. I do check the comments, and I'd love to talk to you about Clarity or Arms Race in general. I like the rest of the stuff that they make as well. I really have to thank you guys for making this far in the video. I know this is a bit longer, probably a little bit heavier in science, but I'm passionate about this product. It's helped me out a lot, and I really appreciate making this far in the video. So as always, guys, thanks for watching, and have a great day.
Welcome to PricePlow.